When someone attacks your character in public, your instinct is to scream back. Every cell in your body wants to defend, correct, explain. But what if I told you that saying absolutely nothing is actually the most aggressive move you can make? By weaponizing silence, you force the critic to drown in their own noise, while you remain completely untouchable. Today, we're breaking down 7 rules that will change the way you respond to unfair attacks forever. Stay until the end, because Rule 7 is the one most people never learn until it's too late. Rule 1. Recognize the trap before you step into it. The digital age rewards immediate outrage. Every platform, every algorithm, every comment section is engineered to reward the fastest, loudest reaction. So when someone criticizes you publicly and unfairly, your first instinct, the urge to respond within minutes, isn't actually your instinct at all. It's a conditioned reflex trained into you by a system that profits from your emotional reactivity. The moment you understand this, you gain the first sliver of power back. Breaking that cycle isn't weakness, it's the first step toward regaining control of a situation that was designed to control you.
Rule 2. Understand what the critic actually needs from you. Here's something almost no one tells you about public criticism. The critic doesn't need you to be wrong. They need you to react. A defensive response, any response, validates their relevance. It tells the world and tells them that their words landed, that they mattered enough to move you. When you understand that their entire strategy depends on your participation, you realize silence isn't passive. It's a refusal to enter a game where the rules are rigged against you from the start. You're not losing by staying quiet. You're declining to play. Rule 3. Let them talk until they contradict themselves. This is where silence stops being defense and becomes offense. An unanswered accusation doesn't just sit there quietly. It forces the aggressor to keep talking. And people who keep talking without resistance eventually overextend. They exaggerate. They repeat themselves. They contradict their own earlier claims because nobody is there to hold them accountable to consistency. You don't have to dismantle their argument. Give them enough silence and they'll dismantle it themselves in front of everyone watching. Rule 4. Watch the audience shift its gaze. Something fascinating happens the longer you stay composed. The audience, coworkers, followers, family members, whoever's watching, starts to shift their attention. At first, all eyes are on you, waiting for your reaction. But when that reaction never comes, the spotlight doesn't disappear. It moves. It moves onto the critic, and it starts asking different questions. Why do they need this so badly? Why are they still talking? Why does this bother them so much? The story quietly changes from "what did this person do" to "what is wrong with the person who won't stop attacking them?"
Rule 5. Practice emotional sovereignty. None of this works if you can't control the one thing that's actually in your power, your own urge to react. This requires real internal discipline, the ability to suppress your ego's demand to set the record straight right now, immediately, before the moment passes. One practical tool here is what we can call the 72-hour rule. In modern media cycles, almost every wave of public hostility peaks and then dissipates within 3 days. If you can simply wait it out, most of the fire burns through on its own, without your fuel. Your peace of mind is a finite resource. Every time you trade it for a stranger's validation, you're spending something you can't easily get back. Rule 6. Use your calm as a mirror. Picture the contrast. On one side, a critic spiraling, fragmented, reactive, escalating. On the other side, you, steady, composed, unmoved. That contrast isn't just aesthetically powerful, it's psychologically revealing. Your calm becomes a mirror. It reflects the critic's own insecurity and hostility back onto them, for everyone to see clearly without you saying a single word to point it out. This is also why a professional or personal brand is strengthened far more by what it ignores than by what it defends. Every empire, every serious public figure who has lasted decades has mastered the art of not responding to everything that deserves a response. What you refuse to engage with says as much about your standing as what you choose to speak on. Rule 7. Let silence be the final word. This is the rule almost nobody learns until they've been burned by ignoring it. Silence isn't a temporary tactic you use until you're ready to respond. Sometimes, silence is the response, the definitive final word that no amount of debating, explaining, or arguing could ever achieve. When the pressure to speak becomes overwhelming, and it will, remind yourself of one thing: you don't owe anyone a performance. True power isn't winning the argument, it's the ability to remain completely unmoved while the entire world demands you perform your outrage, your defense, your justification. The people who understand this rule are the ones who walk away from public attacks stronger than they went in, while their critics are left standing alone, still talking to an audience that's already stopped listening.
So here's the truth most people never accept. The loudest person in the room rarely wins the room. The one who says nothing, who lets the noise exhaust itself, who trusts their own composure more than they trust the need to be understood in that exact moment, that's the one who walks away with their reputation intact and their opponent's credibility in ruins. If this gave you a new way to think about handling unfair criticism, subscribe to Mentiplex for more on the quiet psychology behind self-mastery and personal power. And tell me in the comments, have you ever stayed silent during an attack and watched it work in your favor? I read every one.